talking about justice, you're talking about revenge.
Sometimes they're the same.
No, they're never the same, Bruce. Justice is about harmony, revenge is about you making yourself feel better.
Is it immoral to take justice into your own hands? Or maybe the better question is, who gets to decide what justice looks like? Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins is the first of the Dark Knight trilogy. We all know the story of Batman. After the young Bruce Wayne witnesses his parents' murder, he seeks to learn the art of fighting evil. He later adopts the Batman persona in his quest to protect Gotham from the criminals who terrorize the city. Batman Begins is an insightful exploration of morality. Is Batman right or wrong in what he does? Is vigilantism heroic or villainous? 14 years after Bruce's parents died, the murderer, Joe Chill, is paroled when he testifies against mafia boss Falcone. Bruce wants to avenge his parents and kill Chill, but Falcone's men get to him first. Bruce's subsequent conversation with his friend Rachel is what changes the course of his entire perspective. Bruce is wrapped up in his pain, understandably so, but it makes him narrow-minded and his vision filtered by anger. Bruce confuses justice and revenge for each other because he's looking for an actionable way to make things even. The desire to exact retribution is a powerful internal force. Inflicting revenge allows for an emotional release that may feel cathartic, but in actuality, it just incites a cycle of retribution. A cycle that may never end. And the psychological pleasantness it may bring you is only temporary, as it just reopens wounds instead of allowing them to heal. In essence, revenge does more harm than good long-term. Rachel argues that Bruce needs to step back and reassess where his attention is placed. The enemy of your enemy is not always your friend. Gotham lies victim to more than one criminal. It's overrun by a system of crime which inflicts a much larger scale of harm on the city.
Good people like your parents who will stand against injustice, they're gone.
What Rachel is doing is placing accountability on Bruce. If he feels he has the energy and desire to make things better, go about it in the right way. Rachel slaps some sense back into Bruce when she learns of his very serious intention to kill Chill. He carried the same weapon used to murder his parents, symbolically stooping him to the same moral level as Chill. We see Bruce's mindset change in real time as he throws away the gun. To him, guns are the thin line between criminals and vigilantes. Batman Begins goes on to weave together the concepts of fear and revenge. Bruce confronts Falcone, who threatens him with a gun.
You see 2 councilmen, a union official, a couple off-duty cops, and a judge. Now, I wouldn't have a second's hesitation in blowing your head off right here and right now in front of them. Now, that's power you can't buy.
From this moment, Bruce learns the power of fear. Falling victim to fear greatly debilitates you, but having the ability to evoke it gives you endless control. Bruce has been ruled by fear his whole life, and he blames himself for the death of his parents because he was scared of the bats in the theater before they left and got killed. This sets Bruce on a journey to conquer his fears and become a stronger person.
And you always fear what you don't understand.
Bruce takes up a life of crime in order to better understand criminals. He never wants to be physically or emotionally vulnerable to anyone ever again, so he trains in several forms of martial arts and involves himself in danger to better grasp how criminals think. Bruce's search for revenge existed because he hadn't really come to terms with the death of his parents. He still held on to fear over the situation and thus thought that vengeance would put his heart and mind at rest.
You fear your anger, the drive to do great, terrible things.
Bruce's frustration and anger at the situation is ultimately his biggest weakness. It leaves him thinking rashly and acting without reason. Until he learns to control his feelings, he's vulnerable to others and his own impulsiveness. Bruce's adoption of his Batman persona symbolizes the conquering of his fears. He's literally embodying the fear that has haunted him since childhood. Batman Begins continues to examine morality as Bruce learns that it isn't a black or white matter. When living in a bubble of wealth and privilege, it's easy for your view of righteousness to be pretty clear-cut because you haven't experienced what desperation can lead you to do.
When you lived among the criminals, did you start to pity them?
The first time I stole so that I wouldn't starve, yes. I lost many assumptions about the simple nature of right and wrong.
Morality is all about circumstance. The same action of one individual can be disgraceful, but from another, it can be reasonable. Millionaires committing fraud and theft is shameful. It's selfish, it's unnecessary. But those stealing to keep themselves or their loved ones alive? Now that's arguably brave, maybe even noble. Two wrongs don't make a right, but the line is blurred when there's an individual or organization masterminding the suffering of the masses on a larger scale.
Falcone floods our streets with crime and drugs, preying on the desperate, creating new Joe Chills every day.
Multiple characters in Batman Begins mention how corrupt Gotham is. They say it's beyond saving. But corruption is always more layered than it seems. There may be a lot of injustice and violence, but sometimes the true villain is the puppeteer. And if there is one thing that is certain,
What chance does Gotham have when the good people do nothing?